Howdy everybody, ArgonMatrix here, welcome to episode 130 of the Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus. Alright, we got a challenge run to do today. I believe it was the I Rule challenge. Yup, sure is. Alright, I don't remember exactly what this entails, except that it's supposed to be like Zelda themed. So we got Mom's Knife, the ladder, the key, like the Mega Satan key, the boomerang, the Trinity Shield. Seems fairly par for the course. Mom's Knife is obviously a very potent upgrade right off the bat, so I imagine no item rooms for us today. XSBY 6714. Oh, sorry, there's like a weird bubble in my throat. Hopefully that doesn't persist throughout the throughout this. So this doesn't seem offhand like that difficult of a challenge, except for the fact that we have to go to like Mega Satan. That's a pretty daunting task, so we'll need to be fairly powerful for that. But we have plenty of time to get powerful, and Mom's Knife starts us off in a pretty good spot, obviously. But without any treasure rooms, our only real outlets for getting more powerful are boss room items, deals with the devil, and shops. And random pills, apparently, just giving me health upgrades. It's pretty sweet. The boomerang, I'm probably not going to end up using all that much, just for the record. At least not to, like, freeze enemies or anything. Did not actually expect this to be a library, but I think I'll pick them both up for the bookworm purposes, and I guess I'll take Book of Belial. Well, no, I don't really need Book of Belial, honestly. We'll keep the boomerang. In the spirit of the challenge, it wouldn't be very in the spirit of the challenge to just give up the boomerang, like, literally 5 rooms into the challenge. Or less than that, even, possibly. And the boomerang does have its uses, admittedly, because it can reach consumables across gaps. So, if I can't cross the gap with the ladder already, like if it's a wider gap, then the boomerang could come into play there, so. But until such time, I don't really feel a need to use it to, like, freeze enemies. Maybe bosses, I don't know. That's something that could be actually somewhat useful now that I think about it. Maybe the boomerang's more useful than I ever gave it credit for. I see it so often in the shop, and I just, like, don't even think about it. It's like, oh yeah, there's the boomerang anyway. It's like, maybe there is a place for it in my heart. I don't know, man. Golden Heart. Someone was asking, I believe Zelos was asking what the Golden Hearts did. And I don't think I ever replied to that comment. So if you're watching out there, Zelos, the Golden Hearts make it so that when you lose them, because like it's only an outline around my heart, it doesn't actually give me an extra heart. When you lose that heart, you get a little bit of money to drop, some extra coinage, which we'll probably see at some point here, but hopefully not anytime soon. So we'll go ahead and try and freeze the Widow, and then just like stand up here. Yeah. That's actually a pretty good tactic, is to just freeze them and then stand in their face with Mom's Knife. I'm a fan of that. Hopefully try and make that work out in the future. Pardon any background noises you might hear. Again, I am recording this, well, this is a new day. It's a new set of recording. I'm recording it in the middle of the day, and hence there is a lot of traffic outside right now. Just whizzing on by all these heavy-duty trucks, man, because out here in Alberta, you know, you're not a man unless you own, like a 40-ton pickup truck. I don't even know, dude. I could never drive a truck, honestly. I mean, like, I could drive a truck. I have driven trucks before. I'm not comfortable doing it, necessarily. Okay, that was bad. There's the Golden Heart, though, triggering. Unfortunately, screwed up our deal with the devil chances, but that's not so bad. So we're still pretty powerful, so I should be okay. Yeah, but I could never, like, own a pickup truck, I don't think, or any kind of truck, really. Just because I don't like the size of them, and I don't know, they just seem so unmaneuverable to me. Like, I get that they're very, very useful for if you need to, like, move things around. Like, obviously, if you're moving, you always call on your friend with a truck, or you call on a moving company who has trucks at their disposal. Although, in general, moving trucks are a lot bigger than the trucks you see driving around here. But, like, just for, like, everyday use, like, to go to the grocery store or something, I'm fine with my little Fiat. It's not a car that I own myself. I share it with my mom, but the Fiat is, like, it's like the second smallest car you could think of next to, like, a smart car. It's pretty dinky, honestly. So I screwed up my deal with the devil chance there by trying to get the boomerang play off, but you know what? It felt good anyway, so I don't care. Get the halo, that's pretty awesome, actually. Half a spirit heart is better than nothing. And I think I'm not going to go back for the blue map. What I will go back for is that Eternal Heart, though. Just because I think I could save my money for something a little better than the blue map. Even though Spirit or Secret Rooms could be quite valuable. Oh, that's actually unexpectedly great. What do we got here? We got Daddy Longlegs. I'm fine with that. Any little extra source of damage is fine by me. It's not a very Zelda-esque item, but neither is the Halo or Placenta. Do you imagine you're just going along in your little dungeon, Skyward Sword, and it's like da 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 da, you got the placenta, like, oh god, that'd be so gross. Naturally, be a health restorative item. So people actually eat that stuff, huh? The placenta. Like, I don't know. I doubt most people do. I think it's probably a minority of people who actually eat the placenta when they give birth or whatever. When they give birth or whatever, you know. It's just the miracle of childbirth. Who freaking cares, man? I just don't know what it would taste like. I guess it's just like protein. I don't know. I'd probably be the one guy who like would eat the placenta. Like eventually, far down the line, if that ever comes to pass, where I have a wife and a kid and all that, I probably would eat the placenta. You know. I'd just be curious. It's like, how often do you get that opportunity? I don't know. Are there placenta out there for sale for consumption? I kind of doubt that one. We're going to go ahead and turn this into a key, because why not? Didn't need the red heart. Did he, like, the narrator, I think I heard him say Ace of Spades, but it was, like, real quiet. It was like, Ace of Spades. It's, like, just totally whispered. It was weird. Maybe I was just hearing things, I don't know. Wouldn't be the first time. Alright. Can you give me a bomb at some point here? I'd like to access the tinted rock in the previous room. Or bombs or key pill or something. Although I would like to keep as many keys as I can as well. They're both quite useful. Although keys somewhat less so now that there's no treasure rooms. I need to remember about Trinity Shield. I don't need to be like dodging all these bullets all the time. Balls of Steel is great. Because I can just block a lot of these bullets if I need to. Push comes to shove, you know? Just like that, I think I just blocked one right there. Sweet. What do we got in here? We got Blank Card, and we got the Sharp Plug. Like, those in conjunction can be a deadly combination if you get the right setup, but I think, I mean, I haven't been using the Boomerang that much, but I think it's still in the spirit of the challenge to keep it. Blank Card, we'll see it fairly frequently throughout our Isaac lifespan, so you can imagine it's probably one of the best spacebar items in the game, depending on what card you can get. I'll go back to that pill in a second, after we kill Chad here. He was like not taking any damage for a second there, and I was getting freaked out, and then his health bar was just like, whoa! Just got eaten away. What do we got? We got Guppy's head. I mean, it's tempting to take over the Boomerang now. Especially because the Boomerang, despite it apparently being great on bosses and stuff, is causing me to take damage every time against bosses, because I'm not expecting them to return to life. Which I really should be. But, again, we've seen Guppy's head quite a lot in the past, and I don't really feel a need to take it here when I'm already doing quite well on my own. So let's just get a move on, little doggy. Curse the Blind is kind of shitty, but yeah, it could be worse. Just don't worry about going to the shop on this floor, I guess. Well, actually, I probably should go to the shop because I have the keys for it, and it could weed Greed out of the pool. Weed Greed. It's my favorite grunge band. I would not be surprised if there is legitimately a band out there called Weed Greed. I don't know if they'd necessarily be a grunge band, because I don't fully understand what grunge even is, but that seems like a band name, you know. And I think the motivations for that band would be quite clear, you know. Dude, we're sitting so high all the time. What if we call our band Weed Greed? It rhymes and everything. It's so good. Alright, let's go back and check out the shop real quick. See if we can weed greed out of the pool. We did weed greed! See a weed greed. Probably could have boomeranged him even, but that's alright. Now we just got a weed super greed. That's like the neighbors across the street, the like opposing band members. They like or not the opposing band members, but just the opposing band. They like see their friends on the other side of the street. Dude, that was a lot of damage. I was trying to dodge that last one with Trinity Shield and didn't work out so well. Pageant Boy is pretty solid. But they see Weed Greed forming on the other side of the street, and then they're like, we gotta one-up them. Let's make Weed Super Greed. Lil Delirium. Don't see that guy too often, so I'm happy to have him around. Let's go ahead. Go home. I don't know what that noise was meant to be. Go on and head down to the next floor, Necropolis 1, making very good time on this run so far. It's pretty common for challenges, but it's good to be making good time on this one because we have to head all the way to Mega Satan, so we still got a ways to go. Ooh, we got an Incubus, a Delirium Incubus. Dude, I hate this room. It's like so often it just like, what happens if I do this? Oh, I was trying to grab the battery charge, but it obviously probably wouldn't be that useful because like it would only charge with the boomerang anyway. Kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy, I guess. I can grab these though. Might as well, right? Wait for it. Boom. There's actually that one arcade on the previous floor that I could have grabbed all the money out of anyway. And obviously, I'm in dire need of a lot more money. I only got 55 cents here, man. Come on. Starving me here. Let's go ahead and do that. There we go. Destroyed. The one big problem with that boomerang strategy to like freeze enemies is that like once they come back to life, I'm literally standing right next to them. So if they move in just the right direction, which happens more often than you might think, then they just get to destroy you. Of course, sometimes you get situations like that where you get to destroy them instead. It's not like Pin is the epitome of boss difficulty though, so I don't know, man. We'll take Maggie's Faith. Hopefully, we'll be able to snag some Spirit Hearts in order to make that a little more viable for us. Otherwise, we'll just have to play a little bit more carefully, right? Ugh, Eternal Heart. We'll try and come back for that. The boss room should not be that much farther off, so it should be fairly easy to come back for that, I think. Go ahead and freeze this guy. He's going to go for the jump. Oh, God. Alright, show me Super Greed or just the shop would be fine, too. Alright. We got Pandora's Box. We got Jar of Flies. I'll take Pandora's Box because it's on sale, and why not get some Spirit Hearts out of it, right? There we go. I was like, normally 4 spawn. I only saw the 3, but I guess the last one was hidden behind the shopkeeper. Then I guess we'll go ahead and blow this up. Try and get some better items. King Baby and Placebo. I'm gonna say no to both of those for now, because King Baby is not very good. Fanny Pack, I can do better than this. We can do better, my friends. Hive Mind. I mean, we could get Guppy in the future, and Hive Mind would be great to have in that situation, but not strictly necessary, I guess. Steam sales worth taking, absolutely. Then we'll go ahead and... oh, I'm actually out of bombs now, so we gotta do that. Alright, so we got the habits. I guess we'll take the habit. A 1 cent heart. Look at that, that's beautiful. Yeah. Check out this pill, why not? It's balls of steel. Totally worth it. Get a move on. I could take the converter and convert some of these Spirit Hearts into Red Heart containers, but I don't think that's strictly necessary, especially with Maggie's Faith on our side now. Should be getting plenty of heart containers if things go in the right direction, you know. There we go. Not to mention that we already have a pretty decent amount of red hearts. Like, we are absolutely stacked in like basically every possible way on this run. The only thing I still really need is like more bombs, which has been par for the course for this entire run so far. So, Magic Mushroom, it just gets better, man. The rich get fucking richer, apparently. Let's head back for this Eternal Heart, because I'm the greediest scumbag on planet Earth. And then we'll get a move on. This may be a run where, like, everything can be done. Like, we could get, we could do boss rush, we can do hush, we can do, like, depending on which way we go, I think we could do, like, the lamb, and then we can do Mega Satan at the same time. The only boss, like, super boss that we would miss out on is Delirium, because I don't think there's a way to do him and Mega Satan on the same challenge. On the same run they can be done, because the portal to the void can spawn after the Mega Satan fight, but I don't think that can happen on an actual challenge run. Correct me if I'm wrong on that one, but I think that's correct. Check this out real quick. It's a 4-room, which rerolls all item pedestals, so could be worth something in the future, depending. But I may not even feel the need to come back for it, because look at how stacked I am, man. Is stacked a recent term? I'm trying to think of that now. When was, like, the first time I heard stacked in, like, reference to something like that, like being very well off, either in a video game sense or in some other sense? Like in the 1930s, was anyone who's, like, ever, like, super rich or well off? Of course, how many people were in that situation in the 1930s of all times? Picked kind of the worst time frame there. But still, it applies. Like, did anyone ever say, yes, I am very stacked, I live a very stacked life? I don't see that being possible. I think that is it specifically gamer lingo? Or, I don't know. It just doesn't sound right in my ears when I think of it that way. Of course, many things don't. They turn out to be true anyway. Alright, Delirium Bob's brain. I believe in you. We have to get you to hit something. Okay, he's not Bob's brain anymore, so never mind. He'll come back then. Again, they always do. This should be our last shop here. It very well could be Super Greed. It's worth checking out anyway. It's not Super Greed, actually. Not super interested in any of this. So let's go ahead and blow this up. Okay, we got the Bible, which is actually a bookworm, I think. I don't really care about keeping the Bible, though. Go ahead and just let's use some money to re-roll as opposed to our bombs, because our bombs are a little bit more of a valuable resource right now than our money. Let's keep on going. Oh, we got car battery. I don't know if that's going to be exceptionally useful at any point here, but it's nice to have on our side anyway. Don't think it does really anything with the boomerang, but still, maybe it does. I don't know. I can't even fathom what it might do. Like, obviously, the easy answer is that it fires out 2 boomerangs, but what does that do? Does it, like, I know the boomerang does, like, a slight amount of contact damage, so maybe the 2 boomerangs do, like, a little bit more damage. I mean, specifically double damage, but compared to the amount of damage it does, which is very little, still not that much. Every little bit counts, I guess, though. Gotta stack as many possible options for us as we can. Because you never know when a run can go south, right? I could head back to that 4-room now that I think about it and, like, re-roll the Bible. Don't think that's of the utmost importance to me right now, though. Okay, this is actually silly, this room, though. I took, like, 3 full hearts of damage. And I'm not quite sure why. I didn't really have a reason to, I guess. Alright. That's okay, though, because we have Maggie's Faith, so on the next floor, we should get our HP all back, or mostly back. There we go, we'll take the negative, so we are going down to the dark room. That's good to know. We got Dead Cat here. Ooh, okay. We've got an interesting situation. I think I'm going to go for it, though. I'm going to take Shade, I'm going to take the Nail, and I'm going to take Dead Cat, which put me down to 1 red heart. And then we're going to go ahead and keep the Nail, I guess, because, like, the Boomerang's been great for us, don't get me wrong, but I think the Nail, there's a more plausible case to be made for it, unfortunately, especially with car battery. So we're going to go ahead and take Scatter Bombs, I guess, because we don't really care about the clicker. And then we'll fight Boss Rush. Now, admittedly, having the Boomerang for Boss Rush would have been pretty sweet to, like, freeze all these bosses in place, but I think we'll be able to handle ourselves just fine regardless here. Oh yeah, and we have the habit. I totally forgot about that. I was like, why is our charge kind of like off by 1? Because it should always be on an even charge, but not in this case, I guess. Not with the habit on our side, and the habit's actually going to be pretty helpful with the nail. Like, basically, just even if we get hit a couple times, or a lot of times, actually, throughout this boss rush, we should be able to maintain full HP for pretty much the entire thing. Well, not the entire thing, obviously. We're not quite there yet, but we'll be able to get up to full HP fairly easily, is what I should say. If I can just get close enough to hit this dude, thank you. For some reason, I remember the I Rule challenge being like a lot harder. Like I didn't realize you started with Mom's Knife. I guess I forgot that. I thought maybe you started with like Guardian Spear or something, and then it was like just a lot worse. But I guess not. I don't know. It's one of those challenges that I don't remember that much, I guess. So maybe that's maybe this is why, just because you like basically just steamroll everything. It's just a fun time. But you know, after the tough set of challenges that we've been through. And like the speed challenge, the blue bomber, the fucking have a heart challenge. What's the other one? What's the one that I failed? Was it the have a heart challenge that I failed? I mean, I know I failed it like a couple times. What's the one that I had to skip because I failed? Was it have a heart? I can't remember now. There was speed and there was another one, but I can't remember what it is. Oh god. Regardless, it's been a tough time on the challenge front as of late. And it's nice to have one where you can just sort of, you know, have a good time, not make it super duper difficult, and just make it make you feel powerful. You gotta have a power fantasy every once in a while, right? It's a healthy thing to have. Don't get stuck in it, admittedly, but so you gotta live your life as realistically as you can a lot of the time. Grab this half a heart, because why not? An angel and Mask of Infamy, not that bad. Now, admittedly, if we do want to do the Hush fight on this run, it might be a little bit touch and go for that one, just because Mom's Knife on the Hush fight is not the greatest, just because it doesn't have the proper range. Although with Trinity Shield, that might offset it a little bit, because the Hush is often just firing out a ton of bullets, and Trinity Shield can help mitigate that pretty greatly. The nail would be so busted if I could just be like getting like if every single time I use it, if I still got the damage upgrade out of it as well. Can you imagine how much damage we'd be doing right now? It'd be insane, dude. Got the adversary and little horn here, not that bad. Shade's not doing too much for us. I've heard, actually, correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I remember like reading or hearing somewhere about this item Shade that if it deals enough damage, like something like 500 damage overall, it just disappears, like it dies. I don't know if that's true. I guess it would make sense because it's kind of like a weird familiar, like a doppelganger of yourself. And so obviously if you touch enough enemies yourself, you die. So I don't know. I think that's the case, but I could be wrong about that. We got the Seraphim transformation, so we got Flight now, which is pretty solid. We already did have the ladder, but Flight is obviously just a much more potent version of the ladder. It's why the ladder is so often overlooked as an item, just because Flight is pretty common on most runs, and the ladder is totally outclassed by it. I had to pause there for a second as I was saying that, just because I had to make sure I was saying the right thing. Like, wait, is the ladder outclassed by it, or does the ladder outclass it? Ladder definitely does not outclass Flight. That much is certain. Got Doggie here. I don't think we have a curse on this floor, do we? We do not, so we'll save that for a rainy day, I suppose. Or we could take Judgment, but don't think it's strictly necessary. Could be good down on the Dark Room, just to get an extra item out of it, but again, we don't really need many extra items on this run in order to make it a viable win. I think it's been a viable win for quite a while already. Power Pill is just a bonus, man. There's the boss already. Like, everything's just going my way today, and I could not be happier, man. After all these greedier mode runs, kind of wearing down my soul, it's nice to have this. It's like I don't even need your stinking mapping. I can just find the boss instantly all on my own. Got the moon here. You know what? Yeah, we'll moon. We'll check out the secret room. Because why not? It's a little far away, which is kind of what I was worried about, but that's alright. Improved our deal with the devil odds at the very least. It's not that far back here. Honestly, I might take Rusted Key over Maggie's Faith at this point, just because we have the nail now, so we're going to want to leave room for those Spirit Hearts. And Rusted Key is pretty good on its own right, so. There we go, good stuff. Oh, this guy's still alive. I was wondering, I was like, the door, please. The door keys. So dorky. Am I the only one who thinks that? Every time I hear like the phrase door key, it's like I hear like the word dorky instead. It's like, I mean, you probably don't hear the words dorky. The words door key. This is very confusing, I'm sorry. You don't hear those words that often in everyday life. But I feel like I do hear them sometimes, and then I hear it and I'm like, ha, dorky. Such a dorky thing to think, right? I don't really care about Midnight Snack. And I'm just going to go ahead and head on down here. We're going to get an extra HP upgrade anyway from this Eternal Heart. And I think that'll be more than enough for me for the rest of the game here. As far as red hearts go anyway. At this point we can just save on up here. I forgot to take the Dagaz rune down with me, but that's okay. We got Hagalaws here to make up for it, I guess. Grab that. Was there a Tinted Rock over here maybe? And that was a golden chest? Or maybe the golden chest was just boxed in? We may never know. Unless you go play the seed for yourself for $1.95 plus tax. Yep, I'm selling Isaac seeds now. I go out and I spend all day hunting down the most frivolous and amazing Isaac seeds you could possibly imagine getting your hands on, and then I sell them. Easy peasy money in the bank. I don't think there'd be any market for that whatsoever, actually, for Isaac seeds of all things, because like you can just go and if you own the game, just go make your own luck, man. Go like, make your own magic happen. Who plays with seeds anyway? You don't get any unlocks playing with seeds. That's silly. Speaking of seeds, though, something I want to do in the future is there's actually like a bunch of seeds in the game that activate sort of Easter egg modes, or Easter egg sort of challenges that you can play, and they don't actually like amount to anything progress-wise. They're just sort of for fun. Like what's a good one? There's like Brown Snake. There's like Boob Tube. All these various different things that sort of modify the rules of the game somewhat. And I'd like to show those off at some point in the future. Probably not until I'm actually like done everything else that's actually oriented towards progress and unlocking everything. But I think that could be a fun little sort of like mini-sode of our Isaac series. To show some of those off. I don't know if I showed all of them off, because some of them are pretty samey. They're not all strictly that transformative. But I think there's some cool ones out there to show off for sure. Some of them are just like absolutely stupid. Like it's like, oh, every hit does 12 hearts of damage now. You're basically just the Lost, except you don't have Flight or Spectral Tears off the bat. Good luck. Unless you actually play as the Lost. Like if you put in that seed and then actually just play as the Lost, it's like literally no different from just a regular Lost run. So that one's not super necessary to show off, but there is another one that's like, oh, every hit does 1 heart of damage, so it basically just sets you off on like super hard mode right off the get-go. Let's go ahead and head down to the Hush Fight. We got 7 keys, which should be just enough in order to access everything, actually, because we got the 4 chests and 3 rooms. Curse of the Blind! Oh, if only I had held onto the Dagaz rune, man. Well, egg on my face, I suppose. Here we go. We got Bob's Brain. Classic. Bob's Rotten Head, another classic. 2/3 of the way to the Bob transformation, at least. Gonna go ahead and keep the nail. Head in here, take the top option, because why not? It's Scorpio. Okay, that's fine. Go over here, we'll take the top option again. Consistency, super bandage, whatever. Head on down here. And we got money for both of these, actually. Humbling Bundle and Tarot Cloth. Alright, so we actually got a pretty good deal, despite having Curse of the Blind. On this floor, we got Magician. I don't think that's super necessary because Mom's Knife and Homing Tears, despite what you may think, don't work out as well as you would imagine. Any Tinted Rocks in here? There is one right here. Give me a small rock or something, man. No such luck, but if we take damage on the Hush Fight, which we probably will, admittedly, because I know myself, we'll have those Spirit Hearts to fall back on. plus the spirit hearts from the nail as well. So the Empress card we've activated. We got Tarot Cloth on it as well, so we got basically double the damage upgrade that we would normally expect out of that. Just fine by me. Honestly, this first phase of the Hush fight might be the hardest part, or at least the most annoying part, just because he's such a small target at first. Now I don't have to worry so much about aiming, because he takes up so much fucking real estate. You know, Hush, I've actually come here today not to kill you, but to help you in your life. We're all worried about you, all of your family, Isaac, Kane, Maggie, all of them. They're worried about your health because you've just been down here, just like eating clearly, because you're so goddamn fat, and like your skin is all like scarred and blue and gross. It looks like you've been like suffocating down here. And it just can't be good for you. We need to get you some help. We're going to take you to rehab. You're going to start off on a new foot. Dr. Phil's outside. It's going to be the first start of the first day of the rest of your life, basically. And all you have to do is say yes. And I'm not going to stop killing you until you say yes. So if you don't want to die, just say it. Just say the single word. Come on, Hushy. You know we love you. I did not expect to be doing like quite this much damage to the Hush. Like, we've eroded him. This is actually embarrassing for you. And I guess we could theoretically head down to the Void instead here. I don't know if it would count as completing the challenge. I think someone said that it does. But I don't know, because it's like, I'd rather head to Mega Satan, honestly. Just because it'll be more content, I suppose. More game to actually watch. So we'll go ahead and grab these. I feel slower now because I forgot that the Empress card is actually a speed upgrade as well. We could go to the Cathedral, I guess. That'd be a weird one, right? But no, we'll play by the game's rules this time and head down to Sheol. Because if we went up to the Cathedral, what would happen? We would beat Isaac and then the challenge would be over, I think, because we can't head down to the chest without the Polaroid. So I don't know. Is that how that would work? I imagine so. I'm just worried about getting cheated out of like the challenge win somehow, but I don't think they ever do that. I think like no matter like if you just can't continue past a certain point, even if it's not the boss that you're meant to kill in that run, it'll just give you the challenge win, I'm pretty sure. Don't quote me on that necessarily. I don't think I've ever tested that empirically, but from anecdotal evidence, I've basically like hearsay and like word on the street and all that. That's what I've gathered. Pick up all this money. You may be saying, oh, money's not worth it anymore, Argon. What if I come across a judgment, motherfucker? Or what if I get a money equals power situation going on? Then won't you look silly, you scary-ass straw man? Let's head on up this way. So I got a good feeling about up. And I also got a feeling, ooh, that tonight's going to be a good night. Tonight's going to be a good night. Tonight's going to be a good night. Ironically, the memory I have of that song, or the memory that's most strongly associated with that song, was not a good night at all. It was like a New Year's party where my friend invited me to like the Cowboys nightclub out in Calgary, which is obviously the most Albertan thing I could ever say, other than I'm going to the Calgary Stampede. And I'd never been to a nightclub, and I've never been to one since because it was a rather terrible experience. So I was there with her, and like, she was just drinking, and I had to be the designated driver, so it's like I couldn't drink. And not that I would have anyway, because I don't really like alcohol. Shocker, I work at a liquor store. I'm actually going to be assistant manager at a liquor store. Don't drink. Fancy that one. Figure out how that one works. It looks to famine, I'll take. And yeah, so it was basically just me like standing there awkwardly next to her in like a crowd of super sweaty people, making sure that no one like dragged her off somewhere to like do anything. And then it was like New Year's Eve, so we were gonna stay till midnight, but then it was like came around to like 11 o'clock, and she's like, I feel bad, I'm sick, I want to go home. And I'm like, but we're supposed to be here for midnight, isn't that the whole thing? And she's like, I know, but I want to go home. And I'm like, alright, fine, I want to get out of here anyway. I'd rather midnight to pass in the car as we drive back home than to spend another second like shoulder to shoulder with these people I don't ever know, nor would I like to know. not to judge everyone who comes to who goes to a nightclub by the same cloth, by the same toke, you know, but those places tend to draw in a certain kind of crowd, and I'm not even saying this like from like oh, that's just how it's depicted on TV. I've been there now, man. I can say it. I've seen a nightclub, and admittedly it was on New Year's Eve, so maybe not the best representation of your everyday, like, Wednesday nightclub night. But as far as the stereotypes go, I found them to be relatively true. So we're gonna go ahead and... I'm not even sure if the lamb is actually here on this floor, or if, like, it's just gonna be the Mega Satan fight. Because I think on other challenges where you go to fight the lamb instead of Mega Satan, the Mega Satan door isn't here. I don't know if it works the other way as well, but we're going to find out, man, because gosh darn it, I'm strong enough. I want to beat as many bosses as I can on here, just to say that I did, I guess. Got Ancient Recall, which gives us like 6 cards here. 2 of Spades is fine. Chaos card, well, alright then. I'm going to go ahead and take the Fool with me, just so I can bring myself back to this Mega Satan room. Because I'm probably liable to be pretty far away from it by the end of exploring this floor. And then I can Fool card, I can go grab Chaos card to deal with Mega Satan, the first phase anyway. And then, Bob's your fucking uncle, man. Interesting tidbit I learned about the Chaos card recently is that it's pretty common knowledge at this point that the only boss, or the only enemy at all that does not get defeated by the Chaos card in one shot is Delirium. But apparently there is a way to kill Delirium with the Chaos card. I don't remember exactly what it was. I don't think you can like kill him in one shot still. I think you have to get him like down lower on HP before it'll work. But there is a way to do it from what I've heard. Got another Mr. Mega here. And we got to 2020, so there you go. Basically a permanent sort of bookworm shot. And, I mean, it doesn't override bookworm, actually, because bookworm actually just gives us an extra shot sometimes, so it becomes a triple shot, which is pretty solid. I'm glad that's how bookworm works, instead of just being like a 2020 replica, so that if you ever got 2020, then it's just totally a moot point. Instead, it's like, no matter how many shots you have, bookworm always has the chance to give you 1 extra shot. Which, obviously, the more shots you have, the less you're going to notice, probably, but it's still cool. Still a nice little bonus. God damn. You see that? There were like 4 knives in there. How could there be 4 knives? Wait, I need to think on that one for a second, because I'm pretty sure I saw 4 knives in there. Unless I was seeing the Incubus knives as well, but I don't think I was, because they were all part of the like same collective shot that came from my face, or lack thereof, thanks to Seraphim. Is it like Bookworm has a chance to trigger on every individual tier? So like sometimes I'll get 3 knives, sometimes I get 4 knives if Bookworm happens to trigger on both tiers from 2020. Maybe that's how it works and I've just been ignorant of that this entire time. I don't know, dude. Regardless, I'm getting the feeling that the lamb is just not here. Obviously, like, we still have some paths to exhaust, but I don't know, there's something about this floor that just feels like there is no boss room, you know? Just getting that feeling. There's just something about the lamb. The great sequel to There's Something About Mary. Mary Goes Religious. I never actually saw Something About Mary, so I don't know anything about it or about Mary. But I've heard word on the street that it's quite a fun little movie. Of course, I heard the same thing about Marley and Me. I was weeping by the end of that one, man. I only ever saw Marley and Me the one time. It was like randomly on TV one time, and I was like there with my parents, and like, hey, you want to watch Marley and Me? I'm like, sure. What's it about? It's like, oh, it's about this family and their dog, and it's a great story. And I'm like, okay, sounds great. And here I am expecting something like Air Bud or Beethoven. Fucking the dog dies. Spoilers for Marley and Me, but it's real sad at the end. It's like, it's a very real story, man. It's scary. But I digress. No one needs to be thinking about Marley and Me anymore. I imagine oh god, I kind of want to go watch the movie again now, just because I haven't seen it in so long. like I only saw it the one time, and that was probably like 10 years ago at this point. So do I even remember it that well? I mean, all I remember about it is I remember what the dog looks like. I remember Jennifer Aniston's in it. I don't remember what the dude's like name is, the actor who plays the dad, but I remember what he looks like. And then they have like some kids, and it's just a good old time. Good old fun for the whole family, you know? You know. Alright, so go ahead and use the Fool here. Then we are back in Mega State, and we'll go ahead and grab Chaos card. Just to make this the absolutely most ridiculous fucking run ever, apparently. Wait for it. Wait for it. Hooah! Alright, there he goes. First phase of Mega Satan is down. Still have to deal with the second phase. I guess this is the other boss that you can't quite one-shot with the Chaos card. Just because of the whole phase thing. I guess the Hush kind of falls into that camp as well then, because the Hush does have a first phase, despite how much I forget that all the time. It's because the first phase happens to go away so quickly. And there we go. I rule. I really do. The poker chip has appeared in the basement. Oh yes, the classic Zelda-themed poker chip. Regardless, I hope you guys had a good time with that one. If you did, please leave a like and or comment down below letting me know as much. I sure enjoyed it. And subscribe if you want to see more Isaac videos as well. I post a single one every day at noon Mountain Time. So I know I've been dropping the ball a little bit on that lately, but that's just a product of a busy life, well lived, my friends. I'll get back to the schedule at hand pretty soon here, though. For now, I'm gonna get out of here though. So have yourselves a good day. This is ArgonMatrix signing out. Thank you and good night.